No, you gotta go on the couch.
No. This feels like the head of the table. It feels right. Hi.
It's been forever.
I know, how are you?
Good.
I like this shirt.
Oh, thanks. Hi, sweet pea.
Hi. I had an unreal, a nougat, like a fake Snickers. It was great.
How was it?
Delicious.
Oh, Meg's got water too.
Yeah, I put some waters down for you guys.
Mine's sparkling. Your guys' is flat.
This is going to be fun that I get to see you guys because I feel like we haven't seen each other in days.
No, we have been in a deep, dark writing hole.
They're in that point of the season that I always love where a sign pops up on your office door that says, "Do not disturb" in big block letters.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel it. I feel
Genius
it
at work.
Yeah, no, this is a time of year where there's not enough time in a day where you're like, oh my God, we got so much to do. And then production meetings are popping up and people are having questions like, is it this jar or is it this jug? Or like,
oh God, just pick a jar. Pick a jug.
But then they do it. You're like, well, not that. It can't be that one. That ruins the joke.
That's the whole joke. I know.
Yeah.
Meg and I are just talking about that. You don't want to do it all. But if you don't do it all, everything falls apart.
Yeah, you got something in your head and no one else really knows what's in your head.
That's not their fault. They're not in your head.
They're not in your head, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And plus we cut all the description from our script so that we can reach our page count. You know what I mean? Like, like if it comes in 30 pages, we're like, no, but.
Cut all the stage direction.
Yeah.
Descriptive, flowery writing.
Yeah, we cut it all out so that we can reach our page count, not because the network says you got to do it, but because we're like, okay, if we write a 30-page script, we're going to be cutting 5 minutes out in the editing room. And
it's going to be me that gets cut because I'm not the one who wrote it.
We're going to cut we're going to cut Caitlin's best stuff.
Cut Kaitlin out.
Guys, Glenn's not here.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast. Glenn's not here.
Yeah.
Glenn's
Lucky
not here.
me.
He is
Lucky
going to
us.
Alabama for some family business. So we'll just have to make do.
Oh, don't you do it.
Well, it'll be fine.
Yeah. The other
it'll
thing
be
is
great.
we were going to talk about the road trip episode.
Yeah.
But
Glenn
Glenn has very specific memories he really wants to share. So we'll wait. We will wait.
So just so I'm 100% clear, because I was a part of this meeting, but I didn't bring it up at the time because I didn't want to take the wind out of Glenn's sails. He said, well, I'm not going to be here tomorrow, but you guys definitely need to do the podcast because we need to get it out. And also, you can't do it the way that you want to do it. You can't do it the way the audience wants it, which is us just talking about the episodes.
Yeah.
You're going to have to come up with a completely different format and just sort of riff.
This
And
would have
then
been
when
good
I
to
get
know
back,
before you invited me, I didn't realize.
Well, we
Why
said
did we
let's
potholes?
bring in a ringer. Let's bring in a comedy ringer. Let's pump this thing up. Let's juice this pot a little bit.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Let's juice the pot.
Yeah.
You can juice a pot?
You juice anything you want to have more juice in it. That's for sure.
you juice
That's
the
for
pod.
sure.
Yeah.
That I know.
Why did Glenn not want us to talk about the episode?
Because Glenn and I think, are credited with writing that one, and I actually have fond memories of writing that one, and I guess he does too. He really wants to share those stories, and it's good because my fond memories are blurry to the point of not existing. I just feel as though I remember something. What I remembered
May not have
I don't know.
happened.
I'm hoping
could have been a dream.
I'm hoping he can pry it out of the egg here, and and
Crack you wide open.
Crack
He
you
can
open,
crack this
suck it out.
egg and then get some info out of it.
Well, I do have some mailbag questions that people wrote in,
Yes.
just for us, and then also specific questions for Kaitlin they wanted to answer.
Great.
So we could do
Okay.
that.
Mailbag episode.
Okay. Does anyone else hear mailbag and think,
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
My
Okay.
first thought was
Yeah.
if it's about Kaitlin, it should be female bag.
yeah.
Female bag.
Oh, that's
That's
nice.
good.
Let's call it a
Yeah,
female
okay.
bag episode.
Yeah.
No, I thought of your cock and balls.
Yeah,
for
okay.
sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say it.
Yeah.
Let's go to the
that?
mail, Megan. Let's go to the mail.
We should tell people because I don't think we told them the reason that we're in this crappy
Horrific overhead fluorescent lighting.
Yeah.
Yes, is
Sorry about
because we can't stop in the middle of the writing day, drive over to our podcast office, drive back here and start. There's no time
We
to
just
waste.
have too many offices.
We have too many
many great cars to
offices
drive
and too many
to and
cars. There's
fro.
not enough time. We need to make the show.
Listen, we got to go over to the Valley, then back to Century City,
God.
back to the Fox
We
lot.
need
It's
to make
just
the
such a
show.
slog.
Megan,
So
have you
we're
been
crazy.
reading the scripts?
I
that have been
I
coming
read
out?
your rewrite of my script last night. Super funny. I loved it.
I can't wait to read it. Can you say
Something
the name of it, or
always
you're not allowed to say
no,
that?
say no.
Can't
say
even
Not even the
say
name?
the name?
Okay. yeah.
think
No,
so.
this
This I don't understand
say
this style
Shouldn't
of
we want
marketing.
to get people
And I've noticed
excited
that
about seeing
That's
it?
that's how I feel. I don't think we're making
Here's why, though.
okay.
Oftentimes, we change the title in the editing room.
All part of the rich
Then
majesty.
You say that.
the
You put
rich
it all out there.
tapestry.
This is all part of
Yes.
it.
It's all part of the rich
Yes.
tapestry of the production of this television series and the story.
Yeah,
I just got all the episodes last night, I think.
we didn't get
We didn't
all
get
the
all of them.
episodes
Oh,
because
okay.
we got. We're
I got all the ones that are
out.
ready to be read last
Yes.
night. I haven't started reading them yet.
Can you describe my state, my emotional state, my physical state? What was it, 2 nights ago?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's going on with Robbie at home?
Well, I think this would be good. This is
Let's-
good for
let's
the
hear
for the
about
creeps and the
at-home Rob.
listeners.
Yeah. He came home, door opened and closed, and then you just heard slow footsteps coming in. I thought maybe there was an intruder.
Yeah, you don't move slow.
No.
No, I move fast like a cat usually.
Yeah. Like a cat, exactly.
Uh-huh.
No, you came home and, I was making dinner and I came over and gave you a hug and you were like, hi. And the smile was not real. And then we hugged and I was like, what's going on? And then just no information out of you. And you're really forcing it and trying for the kids because they came and said hi, we had a good dinner. And then we were watching TV and you were just kind of like staring off to the side, not watching and wouldn't really say much. You're like, oh, it's just a lot. It's a lot at work. And then put on a pretty good show for the kids for our whole like nighttime stuff. I'm washing my face. I come into the bedroom and he's sitting. We have a little bench thing at the end of our bed. He's sitting on it, just sitting on the bench, just staring at the ground. Your head was in your hands. I was like, what is happening? You're like depressed.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen this. Yeah, you were very
Which
never
day?
get depressed.
What day was that?
2 days,
2 days ago.
2
Yeah.
days ago. We've been in a good
No,
spot.
it was
a
the
week
day, it
a
was
week
the day
before. I get
before
that.
we had like a really good run, and it wasn't. I wasn't miserable. And the reason I feel comfortable sharing this with our audience is because I don't want anybody to feel sorry for me. I just want them to know that I'm trying to give it my all. And we all are. We're in season 16,
Yeah.
and people think we put things on like autopilot, and we don't. We really want to make something great. And so, again, I'm not asking for people to feel sorry for me. People have really difficult jobs that are life and death, and this is not that.
Absolutely.
So, but in terms of, I don't want to qualify it other than to say that I care so much about doing something good, and it's hard in season 16 to make sure that if we're only going to do 8 episodes, that they're all really great. And I think everybody feels that way, and everybody has those moments throughout the season where they're just like exhausted,
It's a
like
lot of
physically
pressure.
and emotionally exhausted.
Well, there was the point, where we were talking, and I was like, I really think we should not write on Sunday, right? Because I'm
Yeah.
like, we're gonna go, 10, 11, 12 days in a row, 8 to 12 hours of writing nonstop. And I don't mean like kind of like brainstorming. I mean sitting in front of a computer typing.
Oh, yeah.
And your brain just drains because
Yeah.
you're just pumping every little ounce out of it you can.
You got to
Yeah.
replenish.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
dude, I was staring out the window at like 3 a.m. Like I woke up, I had to go to the bathroom, and I woke up and I started looking out the window and just kind of looking at the view. And then maybe 10 minutes went by and I realized, dude, you're just staring out the window like a
I
crazy
caught
person.
Meg twice,
Go
two
back,
times this
go
week.
back to bed.
2 times, that window right there.
Staring
2
out the-
times. She's just staring out the window.
But
Like,
hey,
Megan.
it's also good. Like
Yeah.
you're in like your most creative point where you're pushing yourself outside
this
your
past
normal-
Saturday, I had a blast. I knew I had to write,
Yeah.
and it was raining, and I went out to my office, and I just spent the day writing, and I had a lot of fun. So it's definitely fun. It's just sometimes you just get drained, and I knew that my kids were so sweet. My oldest son was like, "Dad, I can see you're sad," and he's like, "I'm not used to seeing you sad." I was like, "I'm not sad. I'm just kind of drained." And he goes, "I got the answer for you. All you have to do is just look at cat memes." Just look at cat memes. And I was like, all right, fuck it. So he went to bed, I put them to bed, and then Kaitlin actually fell asleep and I just couldn't sleep. And I was like, my head was spinning, and I just took out my phone and I just Googled cat memes, which I've never done before in my life. And I found it delightful.
I bet you did.
And when I fell asleep, I woke up and I was excited about coming to work.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, I'm feeling jazzed now.
Me too.
Like it was a breakthrough week of just, I think just kind of something to the grindstone.
Yeah.
What do you put? Your
nose?
Your axe
Nose.
to the grindstone.
I think you put your nose to the grindstone.
Nose?
I think
Why the
nose to the
fuck would you
grindstone.
put your nose
It's
to
not
a
a good idea.
grindstone?
It's not a good idea.
Well,
An axe to the grindstone, doesn't that
yeah,
sharpen
it
it?
sharpens it.
yeah, but for whatever reason, I think it's nose.
know, It
you
is
have an
nose
axe
to
to
the
grind,
grindstone.
but you put your nose to the grindstone.
Yeah.
There you go.
Why would
I
you
think
wanna
it's
grind your
your
nose?
Your head's
Miller's-
down and you're
your
just
head's
grinding.
down and
You're
you're
not
just-
up looking around like, I'd love to
You're not
grind
staring
some
out the
other
window.
things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wanna
You're not
grind my own face.
I'd like to grind that night over there. You're like, I'd like to grind this stone. And I'd like to grind my sword on the stone.
I don't
Where does
I
it
don't
come
know
from?
what's
Says,
happening.
Two rival explanations. One is that it comes from the supposed habit of millers who checked that the stones used for grinding cereal weren't overheating by putting their nose to the stone in order to
it's
smell
like kissing
any
a
burning.
baby's forehead to see if they have a fever.
But that's not about working
not
hard.
working
That's
hard.
just like smelling your work every now and then.
attentive.
The other comes from the practice of knife grinders when sharpening blades to bend over the stone or even lie flat on their fronts with their faces near the grindstone
That's
when
the
holding
one, I
the
think.
blades.
That
against
makes
the
more
stone.
sense.
Just like pay attention.
Pay
Yeah, you're just
Get your
you're
nose
in
up.
close and you're grind. Well, look, it was a good week. I'm feeling really
great
good
week.
about where we are with the scripts. We got to
Yeah.
maybe do it again for a few more days.
By the way,
But-
that day, whenever it was Wednesday, was actually a great day.
Yeah.
It's just it's exhausting in a very strange way, because if you do something physical, then you're tired and your body is tired and you want to go to sleep. If you're doing something just mental all day long,
You're exhausted,
You're
but
just
you can't
exhausted,
really
and you can't go to sleep. I'm gonna say that probably there's a lot of creeps and listeners out there who are maybe also having a difficult week this week, and maybe. For the creeps, not as much as for the listeners, you guys are fucked. But the creeps, if you could throw a cat meme in, just every
yeah.
once in a
All right,
while
I'll
throughout
put
the
it.
episode,
I'll do
you
that.
just maybe with a transition here and there.
Well,
It's
for the
not a bad
listeners, let's
idea.
just add a nice cat sound.
So wait, these memes are just still photos. They're not
They
like
say something funny.
But they'll say
That's
something.
a
yeah.
GIF.
Okay,
If
all
it
right,
moves,
I'll do
it's a
that.
GIF. If it's
Okay.
still, it's a meme.
And interestingly enough, I think my son prefers dogs. I think he likes dogs more than
In
cats,
general.
but he likes cat memes.
He does, yeah. He likes dog shaming memes.
Dog shaming memes are
that's
fun.
those are
great.
fun.
I'll
Yeah.
throw in a couple.
Nothing
of
like
those
shaming
As well.
You might as well.
Those are good.
Heyo! We are supported by Athletic Greens.
We love their green powder AG1 and take it pretty much every day, especially when we're writing the new season.
That's right. We got a bag in the kitchen for our morning dose.
Morning dose.
One scoop, and we're getting 75 high quality vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens.
And it keeps us alert and focused all day.
Well, that makes it sound like Adderall.
Well, it's not Adderall. It's the best kind of multivitamin. It contains less than 1 g of sugar, no GMOs, no chemicals, and no artificial anything.
Well, less than 1 gram of sugar. Okay, how do I get a prescription for it?
Oh, you don't need a prescription. A subscription, sure, but it's just green delivered right to your door.
Now, see, I used to know a guy in New York who would do that. Sometimes he had Adderall too. So do I call that guy or?
Yeah, but see, this green stuff aids mental clarity and alertness. Did his?
No, it did not.
To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/sunny.
Again, that's athleticgreens.com/sunny to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Hey, are you hiring?
Maybe you need to hire someone to wear many hats at your company, which can be challenging.
Or you might have a single position that you need to fill, but you can't seem to find that one candidate who's a great fit for your brand.
Well, look, good news, okay? ZipRecruiter can help you find that person, whether you're looking for an engineer, a nurse, an accountant, or even a mascot.
They have mascots on ZipRecruiter?
Apparently so, Megan. Apparently so.
Should we hire a mascot?
What would we do with a mascot?
What wouldn't we do with a mascot?
Well, now that I'm just thinking there's a mascot market out there and we're not tapping it.
Okay, yeah, I think we need to get on over to ZipRecruiter and we got to check this out, okay? They have the technology that helps you find the top candidates before inviting them to apply.
So you get matches with the right experience.
So you get matches with the right experience. You don't want to match with the wrong experience. You want to match with the right experience.
You know,
I
like
get
you
it.
want people who went to mascot school.
Right, who have their masters in mascots.
Try it now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/Sunny. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/Sunny.
ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Okay, well, we'll do some mailbag stuff because I got a bunch of questions, and so we'll take advantage of Kaitlin being here to answer some of them. First one is from Isaac. I'd really like to hear the comedic influences for the guys growing up. Who made them decide they wanted to do comedy? In particular, I would love to hear the answer to this question from Kaitlin, Meg, or Mary Elizabeth. So, yeah.
Well, you have Kaitlin, so you can hear
I'll
it.
speak for all of us because I'm a woman and we all have the same. Definitely Carol Burnett, Gilda Radner. We watched a lot of Saturday Night Live. I thought she was great. Betty White for sure. All the Golden Girls. I was a big Golden Girls fan, but Betty White. Now, all of them. Dorothy's deadpan, like straight guy.
Every single one of them was a comedic assassin.
Yeah,
totally. All of them. That show was a huge one for me. And then Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Seinfeld was big. I had a bunch of male role models too. I thought, Will Ferrell was always like a home run for me. Bill Murray. All Bill Murray stuff I loved.
Do you remember like early comedic stuff you watched that you liked the best? Like when you were...
Yeah, so I would go to my grandma's house every Saturday night. And we would watch the entire lineup, the Golden Girls and the 227.
Empty Nest.
Empty Nest.
Oh, yeah.
227.
You remember?
I remember that.
Those were big. That and Saturday Night Live, my whole family would watch that. And I always thought that was really good. I liked that they were just like balls out, like not trying to like be cute. Because back then it was like everybody was watching Three's Company and like stuff where like the girls were just like pretty and dumb, and my mom was like, "You're not watching Three's Company."
I've got a specific question for Kaitlin here, which is from Vanessa Ramirez. Do you often break bones because of carrying the weight of being the best actor on Sunny?
That's not so much a question as a sort of real suck-up compliment.
Yeah. Written
like
in a funny way. Maybe
I like
she's looking
that
for a
very
job.
much.
Yeah.
Vanessa, you're hired. I like it so much. No, but Rob did make me get a bone density test.
I did.
At one point because he had enough.
At what point in your life did you get that?
Oh, yeah. Recently. Within the last year.
Well,
Recently.
no, it was like
The bone density test?
yeah.
That was within the last year.
No, it wasn't.
You have broken so many bones
Yeah.
since I've met you.
I know, but it wasn't within. We'd been married for a very long time. It was. I know which doctor did it, and it was the one at our old house. So it was at least 5 years ago.
Well, it's time for another one.
What
Anyway,
did it come back with?
thank you, Charlie. My bones are dense as hell. Zero problems. It's just I
Well,
have
they
to
only
stay
are.
after
She came
that.
back
They are.
I was going to say, she
so
came back so
proud.
proud of this information. I was like, you realize that's worse. That's even more fucked up.
Just means I
how
fall
many
hard.
bones you've broken, and
Yeah.
the fact that they are
I think 10,
dense.
right? I think that we
You don't
counted
got
10.
enough padding. I'm going to make you some
10.
pasta.
Yeah, maybe I
You
need
know, get you a big old
I
bowl
need
of
to
pasta. Let's
more padding.
Let's fatten you up.
10 bones.
Fat up
10
10
bones.
bones.
We've met.
Yeah.
How many bones have I
10 bones?
broken since
No,
we've met?
you have not.
Rob's broken 0 bones in his life.
In my life.
Yeah. So none since we've met.
No bones your whole life?
No.
How many bones have you broken?
None.
I'm not bragging. That's pretty normal.
When I was pregnant with
Cracked a
our
rib.
first kid, because I'd broken my tailbone twice at that point and it had healed. weird, strangely, I guess. She was like, oh yeah, no, I can see your tailbone's like kind of curved in. She's like, it'll most likely break when the baby's on his way out, but it's not a big deal. I'm like, no, it is.
like a big
You're gonna probably shatter to pieces when the baby comes out of you.
But the baby
don't
will
worry
be
about
fine.
it. You'll be fine. It's
Your
gonna
baby will
blast
be
your
good.
tailbone off your ass, but you don't worry about it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It all worked out. My tailbone did not break when the baby came out, just in case there are any follow-up questions.
When did it break?
Broke a
Couple
number
times
of
before,
times.
yeah.
And after.
All right, take it easy.
Was one of those with the scooter in the Sweet D Gets Audited episode?
No, I was.
It was a wrist
got
thing,
hurt
right?
in that,
Or-
right?
No, I think I just crashed the bike into the set. I
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
get hurt
Yeah.
though. Yeah, that was
One of the
embarrassing.
greatest throws to titles ever is you in that helmet.
I made all the contacts. I pushed that little monkey out, and now I'm going to be claiming him as a dependent and getting tax breaks for the next 18 years. So you talk about a scheme? How's that for a long-term scheme, bitches? You guys all better eat a dick, 'cause Sweet D beat the system.
So excited doing that thing with your head and then throw it. One of the best. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a funny helmet. Made my head look dumb.
Yeah.
It was a good comedy helmet.
Yeah,
Comedy helmet.
I liked it.
Okay. If you could choose an actor or actress to guest star on Sunny, who would it be?
Can I bring Betty White back from the dead? Because that would be so
that would be
nice.
awesome.
Wouldn't that be
Yeah.
good?
But you did meet her when she was alive, right?
I did.
Yeah.
Well, yes. I did a like Hollywood Reporter roundtable or something with her.
Nice.
Told her how much I loved her.
Yeah, we would write her little notes and
Yeah.
drop them off at her house.
She lived
and
on
then-
our street.
She lived on our street, yeah.
Yeah.
We would drop off like little baskets. We know she loved animals, so we would. She said something funny about how she doesn't want to see pictures of our kids, but she wants to see. Yeah,
So we dropped. It was before, like right when everybody went into lockdown. We wrote a note just telling her how much we loved her and what she meant to us growing up, and we weren't like crazy stalkers. We just had moved in recently.
we're crazy neighbors.
Crazy. Yeah.
So we don't live somewhere else. We live
No, we're
close.
like
We
very
live
close to you
by.
and
Yeah,
crazy,
yeah,
and we're
we're right
watching you.
here.
We know where you live. And I said, we have 2 little boys and 2 dogs, and we, walk them on the street all the time. So let us know if you need anything, because we're, I'm going to the grocery store or whatever. And left our phone numbers. And she called me one day. My phone rang, and it was this tiny little voice. And she said, "Hello, is this Kaitlin or Rob?" I said it was Kaitlin, and she said she thanked us for the stuff, and she said, will you do me a favor and hug your little boys for me? And I said, of course, thank you. And she said, can you actually do something that's even more important than that for me? And I said, yes, whatever. She said, can you pet your dogs for me? And I was like, oh,
Like an animal lover.
still got it.
Still got it.
Yeah, I love her.
That would be,
gonna
I
say
feel
Betty
like a
White.
moment. I don't know if you do this, but sometimes I think back to like if I could get in a time machine and go back to myself when I was little and be like, hey, here's
Yes.
something that's going to happen to you one day. Like while
Yes.
you're watching Golden Girls with your
Oh,
grandma.
God, that would have blown my
Oh, yeah.
mind.
I
Yeah.
could- yeah.
And
I
then you'd
wouldn't
be-
be able to connect those dots. Like, what do you mean I'm going to meet I'm going to meet the character?
She's
Like,
she's not real. She's on
yeah,
TV.
yeah. I'm going to
true.
be
You're a little-
in that house there on the TV? Yeah.
All right. Who would win in a fight, Poppins or Special Agent Jack Bauer?
Special Agent Jack Bauer.
Yeah, cats are.
Cats are going to win.
Ruthless.
Yeah. I mean,
Cats are ruthless.
it could be like a draw because like Poppins is
Poppins-
pretty
he
He
indestructible.
doesn't
can't.
go
He's
down.
very indestructible. But Special Agent Jack Bauer would pop that other eye out of that Poppins socket. Now he's
Might be
fighting. Now he's
blind.
fighting
Yeah.
blind.
Yeah.
I think so. I think so.
The cat's gonna win. Although, yeah, I'm
Didn't he
taking
get
the
blown to
cat.
safety?
He
He got blown to safety.
Yeah.
He's fine.
The cat's going to be just fine.
Yeah.
Poppins
Born
is
in
in
a pool
trouble.
of gasoline.
There's a couple questions, Charlie, about your shirts on the show, specifically the San Juan Islands one and some maroon wrestling shirt you have that is like people
The
love your
maroon
t-shirt.
wrestling shirt, I think, well, you
Did
know
you
what?
bring any of those?
No, I think those were just like, the wardrobe department says, okay, my character probably shops at a thrift store and goes or Goodwill or finds shirts on the street. I don't know. And and goes and gets a few things and there's no particular relation to
It's
me.
what's
Sorry for the answer.
I was just in a wardrobe fitting before this, and every year our costume designer tells me the exact same story, which is she's so excited that she gets to shop for me because she actually gets to go shopping and get stuff. And that every year she's like, Charlie, I try and get him, I want to get him some new stuff. But every year he's just like, no, I just want to wear the same stuff. We don't need new shirts. We've got those shirts. And I'm like, yeah, because
that makes sense for my character.
That's the idea.
You guys, you, like, of course Dennis and Dee would want new stuff, you know?
I wear the same pants every single episode.
Yep.
And we should talk to Sabrina.
You should.
Maybe one day for the podcast.
Yeah.
Because
those same shoes you've had resold like 15 times,
yes.
right?
Yep. That's
Yep,
right.
those boots.
I liked the episode where you put on the Charlie sleeping costume, though, where you were wearing
the long
long johns and like the t-shirts.
Is that the one where
When
we
I
walk a
walk
mile
in-
in each other's
Yeah.
shoes?
Yeah.
That was
fun.
to see you wear his outfits and do the cat food thing.
That was really fun.
That is a good one. It is comfortable. Now, that was my shirt, the horse shirt. A couple of the things, the army jacket, the horse shirt, and the Vans with the pink bottoms, and I think the striped jacket with the red stripes were just, and the McGregor sweatshirt. It was basically just,
Really? That's your whole wardrobe.
yeah, it was just like how I was dressing in 2005.
Yeah, totally.
You know, or 4 or 3 or whatever we started shooting it. And, you know, now I can't wear like an army coat somewhere. I'll feel like an idiot.
There's a fan that is asking if there are any Caitlyn Justice stories. Like Rob Justice.
I don't think you're
we've
as
heard.
concerned with justice as Rob, are you?
Yeah. Have you enacted any justice, demanded any justice lately?
I get kind of justicey sometimes.
Do you?
Yeah, it depends. I don't like. Mine's when the kids aren't in the car. I don't like when. Something just happened. I feel like I was driving. Oh, yeah, involved an old woman. Hold on, she had a handicap thing, a placard, and she was like laying on her horn at me because I had merged. I was like, oh, and I rolled down my window and I was like, no. And she wagging my finger, no, at her like that. Because I wasn't going to flip her off because I felt rude. She was old. I don't know if I like run in and like
But you didn't think about
jump into
Let's-
it.
using bats from the back of
No.
your car.
Let's
Like
get into
that.
your psyche though when you've been with your husband and he snapped into justice mode.
Yeah.
What's going on with you? Are you like, oh, sweet, my husband's snapping into justice? Or are you
No,
like, oh,
no.
dear God, no,
No,
don't go
no.
into yes.
Tell the what?
What?
There have been a couple of times. One that involved a physical altercation.
Okay, that the physical
There's
altercation.
been one moment of justice where you were like, thank you, that was sweet.
Well, we were courting, and I was
Oh,
very
dating.
in the early days.
We were dating, and I was I was
There
very
was an
impressed.
actual assault.
There was we were under attack, and Rob took care of business, and I was like,
That was,
Vapors.
oh, vapors.
and it was not something I started.
No, and he wasn't something you started. And also, there's a certain level. Sometimes I like when he uses his words. You know what I mean? I like when he has like a verbal altercation and like explains why he's right and they're wrong. And then he's like, okay, great. And then like he feels good about it. And then it has a button on the end of it. And then I'm like, okay, we can go.
Oh, as opposed to the physical, there's only
As
been
opposed to
one.
I didn't love the in and out, hopping out.
Oh,
of
you
the
were not
car.
there for that.
No, I wasn't. I didn't like that story.
That's fair. Your children were involved.
Yeah, your
Yeah, it
children
was-
are
And
involved, right.
I wasn't there
I-
to protect them. Maybe that's why I don't like that story.
And I did come in and start, and I led with, I think I did something very stupid
Good.
over the
That was
weekend.
stupid. Yeah.
And yet I wanted to and I got some insight, and I learned some
You
things. I
learned.
like to think that some of the creeps and listeners learned something.
He
as
he
well.
gets hot real fast. Sometimes my thing is I just wish he would think about it for a second, think about who's listening and maybe what the consequences are. And then if he still feels like it's time to jump in, then go for it. But usually if he would just think about it a little bit.
Yeah, just take a breath. Take
It's
a few
it's
breaths.
probably worth it to just let it go and move on.
The man in the Rolls Royce is trying to get his cheeseburgers before me. Let me think about this for a
Let me
second.
think
before
Take a couple of
it's irritating.
deep breaths.
It's irritating. It's irritating.
But women are emotional. But we're the ones.
Yes, we're the ones that
We're
fly
the
off.
I wouldn't say I'm
ones.
emotional. I'd say I'm quick to rage.
Yeah, I just think there's a lot of
that's one emotion.
That's not true.
There's no
Glenn's
yeah.
quick to rage.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm quick to rage.
You can be quick to rage sometimes. Yeah.
She's scared to tell him that. I'm scared.
People have to watch the
And
video.
Rob,
for
how
that
does it
moment.
make
Can you
feel
make
to
it
hear
very
that?
clear to everybody, because there's nothing sadder than a 40, how old am I? 45-year-old man looking to get into physical altercations. That has not happened.
Not looking to get into a physical.
And the last time that happened was almost 20 years ago.
we were in our,
You don't run as hot as you used to. Like when we were younger, things would make you mad.
You don't have quite the testosterone that used to be coursing through you.
Pretty good.
Okay.
We tested it. We tested
Oh, you
it.
did?
It's pretty high.
On the podcast,
It's pretty
we tested
high.
it. It's very high.
It's pretty high.
On the printout, it was in red. That's how high it was.
Listen, I can't. She feeds me steak.
Yeah.
I'm
Very
also
good care of them.
significantly younger than.
God damn it.
something.
All right. That's just so
You're on
stupid.
something. You know what I mean? I'm going to test you like Jose Canseco, man. I don't know.
This is
Those
actually
numbers were very high. Very
spiked.
high.
It
Yeah.
seems spiked.
Seems
disturbingly
spiked.
high.
Yeah.
This might feed into this next question, which is just simply, why Rob?
Oh yeah.
Oh, good
mark.
question.
Why Rob?
Right
Why Rob?
after all
Why
that.
Rob?
After all that.
Oh, sorry, that's not for you. It's for Rob. Why, Rob?
Why, Rob?
Why, Rob?
Why comma?
Why?
Oh, yeah, there's a comma. I'm so sorry.
Oh man.
You skipped it. I didn't really think twice about him in the audition. Just thought everybody was funny and nice. But
And
then,
cute.
Young.
And young, really cute.
yeah, and cute. Then we started working, and he just was so good at his job, and had never done this job before. And I had been on shows before and recognized how hard it was to run a show. Usually, it was like adult men running shows. I would like to say or women, but I don't think that I knew any female showrunners.
Not in as many in 2005.
No. But he just was very in charge, but also very kind and very funny, and just knew what he wanted, and very level-headed, and was just a very good boss, and I just was very attracted to that.
I appreciate that you said I was level-headed, because now I would like for the audience to not believe that I am.
If you talk to any of our crew, your employees, they will talk about how you are the best boss they've ever had.
Oh, that's
that is
nice to
very
hear.
true. I hear it all the time. Sometimes people take me aside to tell me that you're the best boss that they've ever had,
That's nice for you.
which is a horrific waste of my time because
I'd say it's nice for you to hear it, just so you can have a little bit of perspective.
I see it.
Just
I'm on
if you're,
set too.
you're out there and you're looking around at some of the other guys that
I'm
are out
looking
there.
around.
I know you are.
Yeah.
I know you
I
are.
have my eyes
They're looking
open.
back.
She's been
Yeah,
looking
and they're looking back.
We get
Thanks,
all the emails.
We're making eye contact.
And you're
We're
looking
making
up.
eye contact.
Yeah. But it's a little up, is what I'm thinking. Is that your eye contact is
my
up?
eye line's a little up more
Yeah,
than it
your eye line's
normally
up.
gets
I
to
got
be.
that. Hey, listen, if that's the case, just know. Just talk to a crew member and they'll set you straight.
That's right.
And Rob, why Caitlin?
Oh,
Why
yeah.
Caitlin? We might as well complete the.
I don't think anybody would need to hear me explain why. I
Oh.
think based on
It took me a
what they
while though. I
already
really had to
know.
work at you.
you did, yeah. She
I
pursued
really,
me like a
I really
jungle
put
cat.
it out there. Yeah, I was confused as to why I wasn't getting the response that I was expecting. It was confusing to me.
I was a professional.
It was
I
very
recognized the
attractive.
power dynamic.
She's like, I'm really
I
slumming
said this
it
is
here with you,
inappropriate.
pal.
Yeah,
I'm slumming it with you.
coming
You
down
got caught.
several
What's going
notches
on,
here.
I
man?
know.
You should thank me for this.
Hey, wake up, buddy.
Yeah.
I thought, wow, this is
Wildly
irresponsible,
inappropriate.
wildly inappropriate. This could
Sort of what's fun about it, though, I'd imagine.
sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, it just made me burn brighter.
Yeah, now we're hearing all sorts of stories about office environments in Hollywood.
Yeah, people getting fired.
where people are just burning real hot in those casting room couches and whatnot. And I wanted to make sure I was not a part of that.
Well, I was already cast.
There was nothing I could give you.
Yeah, green
There was-
light,
so there was no
man.
actual
No,
power.
I
In fact,
wasn't.
you were in a position of power because you could just quit
Showman.
it.
I felt
You
like
know?
it.
Well, no, just to be clear, no sexual harassment, falling in love with someone that you work with, even if you're their boss and they're below you. Sexual harassment would come in if either of you said no, and then the other one tormented you at work. Because of
Well,
it. That's,
hold on, Meg.
hold
No,
on a
hang on,
second,
hang on.
because that is exactly what happened.
That's not. Well, okay.
Did I not rebuff your advances?
It's only harassment if it doesn't lead to marriage and children.
Yeah,
That's
that's
right.
true.
Thank
Fair.
you. Let's
Yeah,
just leave it at
But
that.
there was a
Next,
period of
next,
time in which
next.
I very clearly said both both verbally and with my what's that called?
Penis?
When you no, that came later. Non-verbal. I was both verbal and
That's the butt, I guess. It's the butt part. I don't know.
Non-verbal
I think it's a metaphor.
body language.
Is this a metaphor?
I don't know. What's he talking about?
I said no.
We definitely made out after a Fox party one time, and there was no being thrown around. That was the first time.
Prior to that, how many times? How many times?
Not a one. The first time. That's why I was like, oh, okay, well, this is reciprocal. And then you were like, oh, you got a boyfriend. I was like, well, that I should probably address.
Meg can cut this, but I want my friends to know the truth.
Yeah.
You advanced on me a number of times.
You
and I
are.
said no.
I'm not
It happened
a
at
predator.
Charlie's house.
You're larger.
It happened
frame.
at Charlie's house. We were at Charlie's house
Yeah,
where I
wiggled
was.
my way.
Charlie's like, I don't want to be implicated in
I think I
this,
was living there.
Whatever
at the
this
time. I don't
was.
remember.
I brought my friend from Oregon over. We were playing board games.
You were
And
living at my place season 1?
Or we were just there hanging out. I can't remember exactly what it was, but
You were out by then. I think I
it
got ready
was,
by then.
Yeah, you kicked him
finally
out.
you got me out of there.
You know what it was? It's that I was really feeling like, I'm like falling in love with this person. And I was trying not to. And I was very professional at work. And then the problem was then we'd find ourselves at events. There would be alcohol. You'd make me nervous. So I would drink because then I felt a little better, and then I'd act like a fool. And then I would wake up and beat myself up for a very long time. Yeah. And then the whole thing would happen again. That went on for a while. And then I stopped. I got the message, I stopped, and then Charlie's wedding happened.
That's where you guys really
That was
bonded.
good.
And
Yeah.
at a certain point,
New Orleans, you know. It's,
what are you gonna do? It's
romantic
Mardi
in its
Gras.
way.
Yeah.
It's like Mardi Gras.
at a certain point, you can only be respectful of the situation for so long. You have a woman this beautiful, this talented, this
we go.
kind.
That's what you were looking
Go
for.
on. There we go. We got there.
Now we're into it.
And
When did the candle go out? With
you've been
kids,
married
with the
for a long
kids,
time,
with
as
the kids.
have you, Megan. Anybody out there, the creeps and listeners, they know that the candle goes out all the time.
Yeah.
And then you got to relight it. And then
Yep.
it goes out. Then you got to relight it. Marriage is hard. I think people look at us maybe and they're like, oh, that seems like a functional relationship. And it is most of the time, but then it's not. And we've had really rocky times.
Yeah, nobody has a smooth fun. That's not.
But we only see the Instagram version of things.
Yes,
And
that's
we have had a
correct.
very difficult rocky road from time to time, and we always come back.
I think it was that difficult, but okay, jeez.
I mean,
guys talk
she's
about
been
this
annoying me
later.
for
I
years
know,
and years
wow.
and years.
No, yeah, there definitely been ups and downs, but the thing is, we're good friends, and I feel like we respect each other. So
Yeah.
that's good. That's what you need.
All right.
It's not a marriage or therapy podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Speaking of overcoming challenges, here's a question. What was the most challenging episode to make from start to finish?
Whoa.
That's a good question. I mean, look, it's hard to say because I don't write all the music and whatnot like these guys do. So the amount of effort and energy and time that goes into writing those songs for, say, Nightman
I was
Cometh.
gonna say it was Nightman
but, like,
Cometh. That was like rehearsals or even the where the gang turns black.
Yeah,
That
but
was a
like
lot.
challenging, like maybe like difficult shit, like the underwater stuff was difficult.
Oh
to shoot.
yeah.
You know, and, with the
Gang
boat
Goes to Hell.
that sings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our goose is cooked. I'm going down. Highway to hell, baby. Sis, I love you. Whatever.
I just remember I'm not a water person, and that was terrifying. And then I think it was the last shot. I know it was the last shot because Danny was like, "I'm done." It was time for my time to go up, and I went out and kicked up as fast as I could, but I was wearing heels, and I kicked Danny with my heel on the top of his head. Yeah, and then he came up and just got right out of the water, went right to his trailer, and went home. I was
I'm
like,
done.
I'm done. I was like, I felt so bad.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? I will say that just talking about that story from the other day, the writing process is by far the hardest, and it takes the most out of us. I think production is just really, really mostly a ton of fun.
Fun.
I don't know that there are episodes. So in terms
Yeah.
of like what was the hardest episode to make,
'Cause we
it
don't
actually would be something that we would.
Our style of making something isn't like so technically
No.
precise that were like, it took us forever to nail that one. Even the Charlie Work one, which was a oneer, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like Shackman had really choreographed it so well, and Adam Scalina on the camera got it so well. I'd memorized the stuff, so I was good. And it kind of, we did
We
like
rehearsed it. We just did
5
it.
takes, and
Yeah.
maybe take 2 is the one. Like, so like,
One episode that people don't realize that was not a ton of fun to shoot, and I remember this being the case because I remember how fun it was to write. It came together very, very quickly to break and write. And I remember reading it and we were like, oh, we're going to have so much fun shooting this. And then it was absolutely miserable shooting it, was the Charlie McDennis episode.
you know, that's
Yeah.
funny. I was thinking that. I totally remember, like, in that room, I guess one floor
that
down.
one, right? Yeah.
Or was it one floor
Or
down?
on the third floor.
Yeah.
maybe, yeah.
And then like just the fun of like coming up with like flip a coin at the end. And like, but yeah, what was it? It was a continuity thing, right? Like there was like
Yes. And because we were all in every shot of every scene and we were screaming through most
was the
of it.
screaming.
it was a screaming. That's what
yeah.
it was. Yeah.
It was
When
like,
you're doing
and
that.
what's that war dance?
Oh, the Maori war dance.
Yeah,
Which
it was-
actually, when you're like really doing it,
It's so funny to
if
it's so
you
funny
don't
to
grow
watch.
up doing that as a part of your culture,
That takes a lot out
it
of you.
takes a lot out
I
of you.
just remember like my
It takes a lot
neck
out of them
hurt.
too.
Well, that's why it was the Warriors that were doing it.
Yeah.
It's a
not the actors.
warriors kind of dance. It's not
They don't send
a
their actors into
clown's
battle.
dance. This is a warrior's dance.
I never thought about that because obviously you all are in every single scene.
Yes,
Screaming.
so much so that when we were finished shooting it, I was like, oh, that sucked. Like, that's going to be bad. Because usually if we're not having fun with it, it's going to not be great. And then we saw it in post and we were like, oh, yeah. No.
Gentlemen, suck my dick.
What about the one where you were covered with blood from head
I was
to
just
toe?
gonna say
I remember that day for you, and I'm feeling so bad.
that was one of
like-
my hardest days. That ended in tears.
Oh.
It just
I definitely have a video from that day. I have a video from that
The
day that I
last
shot on a flip phone, and that was so long ago, right? And it was a video of you, and you just kept saying, "I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm not having
so
fun."
funny,
And I
but
was
it
just
looks
like,
funny because
"I
you
gotta
look
put this
miserable.
because I think I'm not sure if she's joking or not." And you're like, "I'm not joking. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Hair
I'm
was
not.
bloody,
I'm not." And they're like, "Okay, Kaitlin, get down in the blood." And you're like, "I don't like it. I don't like doing this. I don't like it. I don't want to do it
I'm
anymore."
gonna do
like,
it, but I just need everyone to know I don't like it.
I gotta find that.
and also,
video.
this was late at night, and I'd been in that blood all day.
You
and
had been in that blood for hours. And
yeah,
hours
and the thing is,
hours.
it's not just sticky and gross. It starts to dry, and every move you make, your hair is being ripped out of your body. So whether it's your arm or, God forbid, I look down, like all the hair's ripping out of the back of my neck, and then I had to lay down, and I'm sure they brushed the ground, but I had like pebbles and rocks stuck all over my body.
Oh yeah.
It just was very. I mean, I'm not going to complain.
Hey guys, it's a brand new year, and having 2022 officially in the books means one thing.
That'll take at least a month of writing 22 on dates before your brain switches to writing 23, right?
No,
Didn't
not
take
that.
forever?
No, that it is now 23, and we're officially in the Jordan year.
It's not quite where I was going, no. I was going to say that having 2022 in the books means your books are in the books, and now you have to pay taxes on them. But have you ever thought about just not doing your taxes?
You can go to jail for that. You would go to jail for that.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, someone needs to do them, but that someone doesn't need to be you.
With TurboTax, you don't have to do your taxes. You can meet with an expert who will do them for you.
That's right. They'll do your taxes start to finish, guaranteeing they're done right so you can relax, because there's almost no better feeling than being done with taxes.
I can only think of a handful of things like winning your 6th ring. That's a reference to Michael Jordan.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You're still on the Jordan.
I got
thing,
yeah.
aren't you?
Yeah.
So come on to TurboTax and don't do your taxes. Visit TurboTax.com to learn more. Intuit TurboTax.
Full service products only video meeting while expert does your taxes required. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp.
BetterHelp is an online therapy service where licensed professionals can help you tackle issues you may be dealing with or just help you feel your best in general.
When do you guys feel your best? When do your minds clear and let you just live in the moment like you've just had a great therapy session?
The moment I arrive on a golf course.
Not while you're actually golfing?
Well, I never know how golfing's going to go, so I don't maybe always feel my best while playing. But when I get there, a lot of hope.
You might need a therapy session for the golf.
That's right. I might need to fire up BetterHelp on the links.
Now, Meg, you've used BetterHelp. Have you ever used it on a golf course?
Yeah, I've never actually used it on a golf course, but BetterHelp was great for me in the sense of working through an issue with someone I felt like, understood it.
Guys, do they have therapists that would understand my golf woes? Like if I missed a putt, would they be like, it doesn't reflect on you as a person?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say yes. Someone in their vast directory of experts has heard golf gripes before.
Okay, great. Done. I've never been more excited to have a bad round of golf,
Sure. Look, if you want to live a more empowered life, therapy can get you there.
Visit betterhelp.com/sunny today to get 10% off your first month.
That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/sunny.
We could counter this with what episode do you have the best memories from, which is another question that people have. Any ones you remember being super fun?
I mean, they're all so fun. I mean, that's
the water
thing.
park episode was so fun.
Yeah.
So fun because each storyline was separate. So we had a lot of time where we were either on camera or a lot of time behind the monitors, but also everything that we shot inside the tube.
The ski one was fun to shoot because we got to go to
we went to Mammoth.
But I got so
drunk
and kind of party.
It was my birthday. I got so drunk the night before. I was so hungover. We have a video of that too, where you guys recording me. We got into one of those what are they called? The gondolas, and we were going up to the top of the mountain, and I was like,
I have a video.
I was like, I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna throw up. And everybody's laughing at me
because he doesn't drink that much. He never gets that drunk, and he's never that hungover.
We established on the podcast that he drinks all the time.
No, I drink all the time, but I never get that drunk.
He doesn't get that drunk, and he certainly doesn't get
hungover. It doesn't hit him hard.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm definitely going to throw up. And of course, my friends are all laughing at me, as they should. And we're going up the gondola and, maybe it was you recording it. And you're like, how's it going, man? I'm like, I'm definitely going to puke. And you couldn't open the window, I guess. So I was like, if I throw up, I'm going to throw up all over you, everybody here.
Oh, that would make me go.
I don't know.
Altitude. We drove.
Yeah, the altitude.
We went up that day.
Sure.
It was his birthday. And then woke up the next morning and had to shoot, and the altitude snuck up on you.
Yeah.
Well, that's also when shooting's like camp, where you're like, the work is done. Now we get to sort of play and be funny, and we're in a cool place, and it's a good adventure.
It's like being at a destination wedding or out of town wedding where you're like in a fun place together.
Yes.
And you always make the classic mistake of going too hard the first night because you're so excited about it.
Yeah.
I think that ski trip was the last time I was sick from alcohol.
Yeah, I think
and that
so.
was
Oh, screw you, man. That's crazy, really?
I think so. And that was like 7 years ago. But
Oh no.
Oh no.
No.
Oh no, right.
All your friends
my
from
friends from Philly
Philadelphia
came out.
and they all stayed with us.
Okay.
Oh boy.
So
this is when the
sometimes
toilet
I
got
truly
This is
believe
when the toilet
I can drink. I drink, I'm not bragging about it, but I can drink a ton of alcohol and still be okay. Then you hang out with those kind of guys, that Philly crew and their wives.
Yes.
And they can drink for days.
But a lot of them, I will say, are also like 6'3",
they're huge.
220.
Yes.
Like they're big fellas.
They're
man.
huge. And I try to keep up with them, and that is...
They came
It's
back
nice
from
that
golfing.
they must have kept you like a little pet or something in high school. Like those guys are giants.
Yeah, they're
man.
huge.
Yeah.
They're huge.
They went out golfing and then rolled into your house.
Oh, they rolled into our house, and the tallest one, Mike Gallagher, came in first.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Hey, how was it?" And he came over to me and he bent down, and they all kissed me on the cheek. He came in for this kiss, and it kind of came in at a weird angle, and he got my neck, and he was kissing my neck, and he goes, "I gotta warn you, those guys are so drunk." And I was like, "Oh fuck!"
You're the sober representative.
You don't know. They sent you in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it got...
I had to drive them. Nobody drives.
No.
No, they had a passenger van.
We had a passenger van for the whole weekend. We went to an Eagles game in LA Coliseum at night. It was a night game. So
Yeah.
Isn't this what gave you ulcers?
yeah. Well, so yeah, that when I woke up the day after that, it was 3 days of straight drinking, and I was like, I can't.
Yeah.
I don't.
I'm done.
I'm done.
It's gonna be a balance, something between that and being in the office staring out the windows into space because you've blasted your brains with work. Like, isn't there just like a middle ground
Yeah.
to all
There might
of
be.
this?
There's a middle. There
There's a
might be
certain
a middle.
personality that has
Yeah.
a hard time finding that middle ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find the middle ground boring as
I know
fuck.
you do.
Let's go up and down and up and down, right? Come on, why not?
Pinball machine.
I'm never down for very long,
Yeah, just the other night.
Just
That
the
was a
other
little
night.
scary.
but it's scary because I'm very rarely.
That's right. And then I woke up in the morning at like 5:30 and you were out of bed. And I was like, oh no. Also, he didn't sleep. But then when I saw you in the morning, you were back.
Yeah.
I feel like it's always just the feeling of like, oh, it's never going to come together. We're never going to get it. We're a million miles away. And then always with story breaking and stuff, it just changes. Like you
Yeah.
find one little thing and then
Totally.
all of a sudden you love it. Your confidence shoots up about it. It's-
Every year I remind him that every year he does this at this time during this particular process. And it's because you guys care so much. And I'm, as the non-writer in the room, I'm incredibly grateful that you bend over backwards and feel that way about it because it's what makes you keep at it until it's at its best.
Somebody has asked if we can explain what we mean when we say something is broad.
Oh,
Great
okay.
question.
We've
Okay.
said that on the podcast before, that it felt a little too broad. And so they've asked if you can clarify what that
I guess
means.
it's just a way of saying a joke is just beyond believable, right? So that whatever the joke is, either the reality of the event that's happening or the reality of the person caring about what it is that they're doing is just past what we think we can get away with. So if-
Acting can be broad too. When someone's doing something that's a little, like you can be big, but then if there's something that for whatever reason makes you cross over into like cartoon character land, then it's broad.
don't you think it's just the belief of like the intention, right? So you're like, oh, I believe behaving this way is either a real human reaction or really what they want. But like some people like can get away with it. Like
Yeah.
Will Ferrell can do something gigantic.
Yeah.
And you're like, you absolutely 100% believe his character in Elf or whatever
Yeah.
is going to behave like that every step of the way.
Like you've obviously done lots of things on the show, like you being covered in blood from head to toe could be really broad, but because you're so miserable, your character is so miserable in that situation, because we understand that you want to be in this movie so badly that you would like do this thing,
But I'm willing to go to those
that you're
lengths.
willing, and then you're a dead body that's always like trying to get your face in the shot and stuff. Like you just buy that motivation. So the broadness of being covered head to toe, like
Yeah, and broad
works.
might not always necessarily be a bad thing. It just
It's a-
depends on your taste.
Yeah, it's an imaginary subjective line, right? Because,
yeah.
you know, who's to
One
say
of the things
something-
we always strive for in the show, I think, and we don't always hit this mark, but that the characters themselves can do all sorts of crazy things. And we've talked about this in the podcast before, but it bears repeating. As long as we believe that the characters believe that what they're doing is going to get them what they want, then we can buy it. And then in terms of the world itself, we try not to populate the normal world or the real world with silly, broad
Crazies.
ideas.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, we'll have McPoyles or Artemis, and or you know the moms, and we'll populate our characters that way. But we still live in the real world. And once we get outside of that, that's when things start to get a little wacky.
You know, it kind of is like we always have a grounded person for the heightened person. And, you know, when we get into scenes with our moms or Uncle Jack or whoever,
We become that.
we become that. It shifts. And suddenly we're like, oh, come on, man. You know, reacting to someone in a way. And then other times it's us against like someone who works at a bank or something.
I wonder if traditionally the word broad in our business would mean, if it has something has broad appeal, it means that it appeals to a wide audience. I wonder if people specifically in comedy took that and then used it as a pejorative, meaning if you can appeal to a broad audience, then you're not being
it's not.
specific and nuanced, and it's not targeted. And then it's comedy, quote unquote, for everybody, which is impossible. You know what I mean? Whereas like
Yeah.
studio executives would say broad appeal is actually a good thing. You have
Yeah.
as many people enjoying your thing as possible.
Well,
and I could see comedians
Interesting.
being like, fuck that.
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
Maybe.
but isn't like the most universal comedy like slapstick comedy, physical comedy is like because you don't need language for it, everybody can watch a Charlie Chaplin movie and like understand what's going on. But those tend to be like broad. But then like there's a reason why it appeals to so many people because there's something primal and universal about watching that thing and immediately understanding why it's funny.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Right, but you wouldn't talk about a Charlie Chaplin movie if you were to say it's broad.
No,
it wouldn't be in a negative light,
no.
right?
Sometimes there's a broad in it.
There's
Yeah.
a whole
There's a
broad in
broad.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't talk though, so it was
She
Nah.
didn't talk.
Yeah.
Well, none of them talk.
None of them talk, so
That's
you
good.
know.
That's best. That's best.
Here's one which I would like to know. Kaitlin, what's your favorite swear word?
I like stuff like I don't know if I like a. Do I have a favorite swear word?
Dee's favorite word would be goddamn.
God damn it.
The way you deliver it is arguably the best of any of the characters
Thanks.
on the show, I think.
Thank you. I try to mix it up. I don't know. I like when people call people like a buffoon or something like silly is funnier to me than like a swear word. But I'm also living in a household of like preteens who think that swearing's really fun and I'm just finding it annoying.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Wonder where they're learning that from.
Yeah, like you guys, it's not funny, okay? Like when you swear all the time, it's not necessarily funny, and they're just staring
Isn't
at
that
me
how
like,
you guys bought this house?
Well, Caitlin, thank you for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for coming in and
"Thanks for having me."
helping us get some funnies out.
Yep.
And
I
can't wait
appreciate
to
it.
start shooting with
Me
you.
too.
It's going to be very exciting
So
next
next week,
Wednesday.
good fun
Next
stuff
Wednesday.
coming up.
Oh, by the time this podcast comes
On
out,
Monday, yeah.
yeah, on Monday it'll be 2 more days until shooting. It's
Oh.
exciting.
Very
Right.
excited.